Hi everyone, Leah the trader here from TMAD. So today I just want to look into the trades that we had in our Discord and what I think about the market for the upcoming weeks. So we had a very good week. We had a very good month. Number one big trade we had was UNH. We got in at 251 and we got out 262, 272, and we're still riding the leftover shares with trail stop to 270 at this point. We'll see how far it gets us. I think we're gonna fill the gap right here. That was a great trade. We had UBS on the scanner on Sunday. Monday we had a huge gap up, but the retest, always play the retest when you have a huge gap. It perfectly retested to 100 moving average, and that was our target. Hit it perfectly. Tesla was from the weeks before. We had reached the targets as well. And here another one. We didn't play it again, but you can learn that the 100 moving average or 200 are very good launch pads there. Usually gets their retest and then takes off again. We had one tiny loss on Reddit. So first we had a huge winner on Wednesday. So it was huge. I think that stock was up 14% and we traded it also in Discord. We got in at 119 on the 200 and we got out at 130. So that was a very quick day trade actually. I didn't expect it to go so fast, but it did. So we got out because, you know, as I always say, what comes up fast goes down fast. So I didn't want to risk it. Yeah, we made like 9 or 10% on this one. And then I was trying to trade it again on Friday, but sadly, or Thursday, I wanted to play the retest. And look where this awful stock stopped. I had 111 stop. And look at this right here. So we got stopped out literally 13 cents and then it went higher, but it was still pretty weak. And as we can see, I'm glad we are out. So we played Roblo. Roblo was absolutely smashing too. This was our entry, 74. And I was getting out at 77. Some people at 80, that was my target. It hit it perfectly again. A very good week. QBTC, I'm still in this trade. 11 was entry. I had stop loss at 8, but I trailed it to 10 at this point because we are up on this trade about 15%, 11%. So I do not want to give money back. So it's very volatile as you can see, but thankfully the 11 is now support. So I'm in this one still. And then on Friday I opened Pepsi Cola. That was my entry, and we see a lot of buying pressure. This stock is turning course. It will be slower moving to 140, 141, 130 now is 129.69, 130. It's the stop. If it doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But this one is also a little bit more immune in case that the market falls or the high beta stocks fall. We played Oklo. Our entry was first. We played it at 26. That was our entry, and that was here. The breakout, and we played it till 30 and this one, and then we played it again at 36 entry and we played it, and I got out also half of this one, and then I closed the whole thing. So look, it's really nice trade. The reason why I'm getting out was also 8-9%. I posted the gains because the market overall, I have a little bit of skepticism, although it looks really nice. But look, we just went up so much and we are around the collar. I do believe we're going to retest. And, you know, people might just be always bullish, always. I'm not going to get short, but I do get negative or more negative. I take profits. So we're going to wait and see. And as you guys know, the news always come in the weirdest times when there is a time for retest, which happened after hours on Friday. And I would not be surprised if we fill some of those gaps, guys. It would be very healthy, actually. We can't keep going like this. So I'm still looking at it, you know, as this like double bottom and we go. Or you can also argue that there is cup and handle forming, right? So that would be another way to look at this this chart. So that's kind of my opinion. You know, you can believe or have the same bias as me or not. It depends on you. I did ease up on my positions, and the only trade I have opened right now is, as I said, the PEP and the QBTC. Everything else is closed, and I had the leftovers of UNH, which honestly, there's no way I can lose anymore. We go to 251, my stop is 270, trailed last 25% of the shares. So that's only perfect trade. I'm very happy. These were good weeks. We also had Adobe that I gave, Adobe, but it was also having a gap up. Sometimes when you see a lot of momentum in the after hours or at the close, which I do oftentimes, and you see here the buying pressure on that close, you can buy right there. And then you wake up in the morning, you have a gap. So that's also a way to trade. A lot of institution trade after hours, so you can do too. And one more stock I was gonna look at. Oh, I had like an issue with Amazon. Some people got into this one because I said it would be good to play it above, and it was on Wednesday, about this level on strong volume. But if the volume doesn't really correspond, you don't want to get in. So sometimes, you know, it's hard to really see if the volume is great or not, but I have relative volume indicator, and that's what you should look at. So I didn't get into this one. Amazon just takes too long, and it just sometimes gets to those moments when it's chopping for months and months and months, and I just don't have patience for that. If you own it in long term, okay, it's a great company. But again, if we get it now, at this point, I would move my entry a little bit higher for a breakout, or at least about the 100 moving average. Then that's another setup. Always find your setup that makes sense for risk to reward. Like this would be my setup for Amazon if we keep going higher. But again, you have to have a lot of volume on the way up, all right? And IONOQ is the last one I want to look at. And this one is amazing. Actually, it broke out exactly the level I wanted. It took a little time. No, it's moving nicely in this upward channel. It broke out really nicely, but let's see what happens on Monday because of the downgrade we got on SPY. So I will be very patient now and see. We are in a time where we could retest. So I don't want to rush it and go long too much. So yeah, that's it pretty much for next week. As I said, I'm looking into Citibank. Goldman Sachs looks great, and Morgan Stanley was all on the scanner for next week. And then Palo Alto Networks, cybersecurity looks like it could break out and go higher. So inverse head and shoulder. But that's it. I will post some chart tomorrow, and you guys have a great weekend.